A MAGA civil war has erupted this afternoon. There is major infighting between the FBI and the Department of Justice, and it's really unclear who is going to win and who is going to keep their jobs. Apologies for getting this to you late. We had a bit of a fender bender. Everyone is okay, thankfully, but I just got back to my computer. So here's the news right now. Deputy FBI Director Dan Bongino is now considering resigning after a heated confrontation with Attorney General Pam Bondi over the handling of the Jeffrey Epstein memo amid growing tensions between the FBI and the Department of Justice. Bongino was accused of leaking claims that the DOJ blocked the release of key Epstein information, and the controversy centers on a DOJ memo that denies the existence of an Epstein client list or evidence of the fact that Jeffrey Epstein was murdered. Bongino had touted surveillance footage as definitive proof that Epstein wasn't murdered, but public scrutiny over a missing minute in the video sparked intense backlash. Before I continue, please consider subscribing to support my work by clicking the button below or sending a one-time donation via Venmo to Aaron-Parnas. We're now learning, though, that the raw footage released by the Department of Justice was likely manipulated. According to Wired, experts revealed that the video had been processed using Adobe Premiere Pro, likely stitched from multiple clips and saved repeatedly, raising new questions about the video, the so-called raw video file that was released by the Department of Justice concerning the night Jeffrey Epstein died. There are new questions emerging over whether or not he was killed or whether he committed suicide. This will only fuel more conspiracy theories. There may be an innocent explanation to it. But between that and the fact that right now, the deputy FBI director today literally did not show up to work today in protest over the Department of Justice's handling of the Epstein files. Well, it seems as though there are documents that the public needs to see regarding Jeffrey Epstein that Pam Bondi and the Attorney General's office simply is not letting us. Obviously, it's important not to become a conspiracy theorist over this, but the release of all this information follows the joint DOJ FBI memo reiterating Epstein's death was a suicide. There were months of buildup ahead of time. Pam Bondi saying that she had the Epstein client list on her desk. Now she's saying it doesn't exist. So we're going to see what happens, but ultimately there is a lot of infighting. A civil war is breaking out between MAGA and the FBI and the Department of Justice, and someone's going to have to lose their job over it. It's just a matter of who and when, whether Dan Bongino and Kash Patel decide to leave the federal government or whether Attorney General Pam Bondi is fired by Donald Trump or resigns on her own. But I do want to make one thing clear. It seems as though Attorney General Bondi would not have done this Epstein stuff without Donald Trump knowing, especially given the fact of how close the Department of Justice and the FBI and the administration have become over the past several months. Another news, since Kash Patel became FBI director, the FBI has significantly increased the use of lie detector tests on its own employees, asking senior staff for interviews and polygraphs whether they've said anything negative about the director. U.S. Border Czar Tom Homan admitted that he does not know the fate of 8 men deported to South Sudan, a country most of them have no connection to. Today, Donald Trump visited Kerrville, Texas, with Governor Greg Abbott to survey the damage from the devastating floods after the Guadalupe River flooded over the 4th of July weekend. White House has quietly now backed away from plans to abolish FEMA. Trump praised local and state officials repeatedly, refusing to assign blame or address why residents received no emergency briefings or warnings before the floods, drawing comparisons to George W. Bush's, quote, heck of a job moment during Hurricane Katrina. Trump called a reporter, quote, evil for asking questions about the lack of warnings, dismissing the questions, and saying only a very evil person would ask a question like that. El Chapo's son has issued a guilty plea for drug trafficking, firearms charges, and money laundering, becoming the first of the Chapitos to strike a plea deal. India's preliminary investigation into the fatal Air India crash that killed 260 people found that both fuel switches on the Boeing 787-8 engines shifted from run to cut off within seconds of each other. Cockpit audio captured one pilot asking the other why he cut off fuel. Some good news. A dog named Rocky saved an entire village in northern India, alerting his owner to an impending landslide. Underwater wind turbines in Scotland's Maygen projects have set a new industry record, generating uninterrupted power for over 6 years without maintenance. And Japanese and Taiwanese scientists successfully paddled a replica Paleolithic canoe 140 miles across the East China Sea. That's all the news right now. I'll see you in the morning. Support my work today. Subscribe to my Substack or send a one-time donation via Venmo to Aaron Parnas.